Dulci Hill, and again, I am your host. Today, we're going to be talking about diets and disease modifying medications. Let's talk about diets first there, and feel free to jump in and talk about the diets that you like to follow there. I can't believe I'm going to be holding this phone and making you dizzy for an hour there, and I can't, but let's see. I think that'll work there. I don't think so. All right. I have got, if you go to msfrontiers.org, you'll see just a lot of diets that are people with MS are following. The first diet I want to talk about is a basic anti-inflammatory diet there. And if you Google anti-inflammatory diets, you'll find a lot of them. And each diet has its own food pyramid. Now, in MS, our bodies are in a state of inflammation. So we eat a certain way to keep as much inflammation out of our bodies as possible. One of the things that I will talk about is that when we have MS attacks, let's see, when you have MS attacks, your body is inflamed. They tend to give you steroids, which is an internal ice job, and that reduces every time you go in the hospital or every time you have home health care come out and give you steroids it reduces the inflammation. It tends to stop attacks. Now think about the myelin sheath there and the insulation. Myelin sheath is the insulation on nerves there. And think about, you got a wire and it's got rubber on it, right? A rubber wire cover there. And MS, the human insulation isn't rubber, it's myelin. And in this disease of MS, what happens is white blood cells attack the rubber on the nerves, or the myelin on the nerves. So when we are hot, that the little holes that the white blood cells have created now are a large high. I will get to you and say hi to everybody on Facebook. I love you guys. Anyway, all right, so you've got holes there. Now think about inflammation, right? When it is attacking, we're in a state of inflammation, and they give us Solumedrol or steroids to do an internal. It's basically like putting a ice pack on a sore ankle or a twisted ankle. It reduces swelling. Well, it's a chemical that goes inside of us, and it's like putting an ice pack on the rubber. Reduces the size of that hole. Excuse me. Anyway, so I wanted to tell you that. So the anti-inflammatory diet is to promote our bodies without inflammation. And that is supposed to be good there. Now, let me pause for a minute and say good morning, Karen. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Nadine. This is 2 weeks in a row. That's new for you. Yeah, I know the last time we it's been a while there. It was 3 weeks you went away. So I love that you're here, Nadine. There, I know all about you, Nadine. I have it written down here on my prayer list. Actually, no, I don't. Nadine, let us know your age, type of MS you have, medication you're on, and where you live. There, so I can put you on. You've been around, now you're regular, so you have to give that. So now let's get back to anti-inflammatory. Karen, God bless you. You're here with us, and I'm excited. I love you, Karen. I do. I think you're on Facebook too. We're Facebook friends. So on YouTube there, if anybody here wants to be my Facebook friend, again, I'm the host. You guys on both Facebook here and on YouTube. You guys are the stars. So chime in if anything I have get you. Hi, Diana. All right, anti-inflammatory diet. We're talking about that right now. Okay, the anti-inflammatory diet, the food pyramid. They want you the very top of the very top. They want you to have lots of fish and seafood. That is your protein base there. Also beans, cracked grains, pasta, which I have recently looked at. Oh, that's a new name there. I've recently looked at. It's called what is it? It's a type of diet, and it talks about nightshades like tomatoes and eggplant, different things causing inflammation, and that's a new diet there that's probably about 3 years old. That its course, you stay away from that, and it won't cause inflammation. Also, a big thing with inflammation is, yeah, you're awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Nadine. Nadine just told me what she's on. But you didn't tell me where you live, Nadine. You got to do that. All right. Veggies are good. Fruits are good. But we got to stay away from sugars. Sugar causes inflammation. And that's a hard thing because sugar is the interior hug, right? It's when we don't get a physical hug out there. There is nothing like eating a handful of M&Ms and you feel like somebody's hugging you. It's a wonderful thing. All right, so anti-inflammatory diet. There are certain things that you can eat, supplements you can take. If you go to msfrontiers.org, you will see the anti-inflammatory diet. It goes more into it. If you click that, it'll take you to a website that will tell you more about that. Okay, moving on. Hi, Gina. Let's see here. Let's see. No dietary. You know what? It is. I can't remember. Let me see if I can share. Oh, that I'm not going to be able to share. That. Let me. All right. Say hi to everybody on YouTube. YouTube, all right? So I am going to share. You have to forgive me there. Share, invite friends. I invited friends there. But let me see. I don't know how to invite different groups. All right, the next thing I'm going to talk about is the Mediterranean diet. All right, and Mediterranean diet is based on long chain fatty acids. Fat in some way, if you, just 1 minute here. If you remember, fat, just 1 minute here. Fat is made up of the myelin, that rubber on our bodies or on our nerves is made up. You guys have to, on Facebook, you guys have to forgive me for. All right, they have to forgive me. All right, they have to forgive me. But at least I'm on Facebook, and I'm live on Facebook there. But I'm going to focus on YouTube there. So the Mediterranean diet, again, the inflammation that we have is kind of cuts into the. All right, let me get clear there. It is the if we introduce olive oils and monosaturated and polysaturated oils, which are found in let me see, which are found in olive oil or in grapeseed oil, that kind of thing. By introducing more of that, which that rubber on the insulated sheath is made up of there, it will help build more myelin. So that's the idea behind the Mediterranean diet. It's more nuts, lots of vegetables, whole grains, avocados, that kind of thing. So we have to. Yeah, oh, there you guys are. All right, I will stay here. Okay. So, okay, Mediterranean diet there. And it is completely different than we're going to get to all these diets you guys are talking about. Um, it is completely different than do you remember the swank diet? The swank diet is the polar opposite, and that has its limit fats. So again, I'm gonna tie that up. Again, go to msfrontiers.org and see where you can learn more about each one of these diets. You can click the link and it'll take you directly to their website there. Let's see. Good morning, Gina and Cynthia. There. All right, now next we'll move to the Walls Protocol. The Walls Protocol's main purpose is to eliminate starch, so a lot of starches and certain meats, red meats there, and you got to eat grass-fed organic, and that's kind of expensive there. So we have to do that. You also have to focus in on it's paleo principles, which I like there. If God had it born or grew it, there it's good to eat. There, the minute people start processing that kind of stuff, it turned bad. But anyway, the Wall Protocol, it's not just her diet, but she also has it's like the TENS unit, electrostimulants. It's she gets massages. It's a lot of things that meet together that work well. Matt, where is Matt Emery? His father Ashton developed a diet for him, but also you think about Matt. Matt is big on exercise. Matt is, and hi Richard, and you are absolutely right, Nadine. In fact, I'm going to go over all these diets, but the big thing is that when you have MS, there when you eat something if it agrees with you, if it disagrees with you. Oatmeal, I love oatmeal, but oatmeal tends to have a reaction with me. There, I feel that, and it's true with my with anybody, my mother and my brother. So oatmeal is is listed as a healthy grain, but it's not healthy for me. Milk, sometimes cow milk. They discovered that's not necessarily decent, but some people don't have a problem with it. I'm listed as having a allergy to oatmeal or to milk, there cow's milk, a slight allergy. That's what my blood work says. But I'll tell you, I feel great. I don't doesn't affect me at all. There. What else? Certain fruits. I think about my mother. She can't have cherries. There, and other people will do cherries for arthritis. So you think individually, the greatest MS diet is the MS diet that will work for you. There's the ketogenic uh, uh, diet, and that is meant to have it's high. Let's see, low carb. high fat, and it's meant to have your blood sugar lower. Um, so I think for me, fruits. If I eat a paleo diet, right, staying away from sugar, which is hard to do there. But if I do that, stay away from sugar and limit that kind of stuff. If I limit that, there I feel better. If I limit oatmeal, if I limit the things, it's like whole wheat. There's new discovery that whole wheat isn't necessarily good for you. If you read the ingredients in whole wheat bread versus say sourdough, which is good, it's a hypoglycemic uh, bread. There, if you read the ingredients of whole wheat, the nuts and all that stuff, a lot of times you'll have high fructose syrup in it, corn syrup, sweeteners that make it taste more palatable. So we have to be aware. What are they putting in our diets to make it more palatable? I like sourdough bread. Have a half of that. And Diana is great. Ezekiel bread is I've had that. It's good. It's expensive there, but Ezekiel bread is good. Nadine uses honey instead of sugar, and again that is good. That's good to use because your body can recognize sugar, can recognize honey, and know what to do with it. Same thing with fructose in strawberries or blueberries. They're very high. Uh, um, yeah, they're very high in antioxidants, and that is good. Richard talks about avoiding foods with MSG, monosodium glutamate, which what is monosodium glutamate? Monk fruit sugar is outstanding. Monosodium glutamate is like crack cocaine for your taste buds. People, if you go, in fact, Chinese restaurants are big at using that. If you, hi Dim, if you go, in fact, there's a lot of adobo. If you pick up seasonings, always read the back for MSG because MSG again is playing with chemicals uh, in your body, so it tastes better there. Monk fruit. Diana brought that up over here in Facebook. Uh, Diana talked. I Tim. Tim Donaldson. Tim is here, and I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to use that. But monk fruit is a sugar substitute you can use. It's actually sweeter. There, there is. Um, Chime in if you know anything about artificial sweeteners. Now, I know years ago they said that we should stay away from aspartame because it turns into formaldehyde into our bodies, and that's not good. Uh, what do I learn about that? Uh, the sucralose. I like sucralose there, and Gina's chiming in here. Some people, when they know their blood type, good eating for your blood type. Yeah, that was a big thing. You can have a diet towards your blood type, and you yes, you can do that. There was a book about diets with blood type. I don't know. Problem is that came out about 15 years ago, and I am big on follow up. It's how many people actually stick to it and want and see results from it. More people see results from eating paleo diet or eating clean. And you know what clean is because you have that. Yeah, there's a direct correlation when you have SPMS, and a lot of you, most of you do, it's hard to detect if a certain food is causing you problem the next day because you don't feel good anyway. So I want to talk a little bit about that. So anyway, and then Karen talks a little bit about using stevia, and that is right. Stevia is actually the best thing we can use. Karen, I do have that you have SPMS, but it's the best thing we can use because it doesn't affect our blood sugar. It is not. It tastes sweet, but it's not really a sweetener. It comes from a tree, and tree. No, it comes from a plant. Stevia is. All right, you guys have to chime in because I'm having an MS brain situation. I can't remember the stevia. I know the stevia leaf there, and so it is. The sweetness comes from a leaf there. A lot of some people can't handle stevia because of the taste, of the aftertaste. It to me, it's not the greatest thing in the world as far as flavor there. So there's also the plant paradox. Oh, the plant paradox is what I want to talk about. Inflammation there. So if you can contact your library and look at the plant paradox, that talks nightshade plants that cause inflammation there. The Mayo Clinic hospital also has a diet for people with MS there. Uh, uh, there's the McDougall diet and overcoming MS, OMD diet. There's the gluten-free diet. There's some people who believe that is good. Let's see. Best bet is Matt's Embry's diet, his father's diet there, and ketogenic diet. All right, the best thing to do is go to msfrontiers.org, and there's a link. If you look at the main page, there's a link that tells you about diets. All right, let me show you all these diets. That's the web page, diets, and you can click on the diet. Now, what I say is take what you like and leave the rest. You know exactly how you feel. How you have to be cognizant. Look at you guys there. I know you're. This is my Facebook feed. All right. Now let's talk a little bit. Anybody, can you post what time it is because I don't have a clock here. There and Facebook there. How much time do I have? Because I want to move on to a disease modifying medication. Thank you, Karen. God bless you. Karen, just let me know what time it is. All right. So somebody needs to keep Karen, could you keep a watch there and tell me how long? Tim, that's good. Yeah, all right, people are letting me know how long they've had MS, what type. Remember, what I want to know from you. I want to know the type of MS you have, what disease modifying medication you're on, how old you are, and where you live. There. Thank you, Karen. God bless you. So Karen is my partner on this, and Karen, when I am able to develop more of a professional instead of this hack. This here, I'm holding an MS Live chat, and we're all chatting. Then there's a lot of us there. Everybody is showing up there. They're that's my list there. So everybody is showing up, and when I'm able to talk to Dennis, because Dennis is one of those MS experts on computers. There, he's going to teach me. There's a number of people there that will teach me how to have a split screen, and Karen, you're going to be right there, and you're going to say, Dulci, you're going to help me modify this. Each one of you, if you want to be on, I think, I'll host, and we'll bring everybody into this there. Let's see. Now let's talk a little bit of disease modifying medication. I've got a number of years back, MS Society used to publish the effectiveness of the medications in order of their effectiveness there, and I got that. I studied each medication and I put it on msfrontiers.org on the disease modifying medications in the effectiveness of order. Unfortunately, there is like 6 additional medications that I have to update that website and put that on. Because if you go down at the end of the website, you can click it and it'll bring you to a page and it'll tell you the side effects of the medication that you're on. All right, so the least effective medication is Copaxone. And back when they published this, they can't publish this, and this is directly from the MS Society years ago, 2012 was the last time I think they did that, because what happened is that instead of comparing medications like they used to people who didn't take medications, these pharmaceutical companies started getting cute and compared it to another drug. And you can't do that. You can't do that. So, give you an idea, Copaxone's only 29% effective at keeping you from having a problem. There, you know what? I believe I was on Copaxone. You can take it, and up front it works wonderful. But as you were on it for a while, it's a decoy medication where you introduce it and the white blood cells will go in and see the Copaxone and attack that. Eventually, your body kind of recognizes, oh, you know what, she's trying to fool me by injecting Copaxone in there, or he is. All right, now why I'm saying this is that after you've been on it for a while, it may lose its effectiveness. It's a wonderful first line drug if you have relapsing remitting disease. It worked wonderful for me for about 2 years. Remember, I am not the person to compare anything to, because I have a very aggressive disease there. So Copaxone and Copaxone sister drugs, because it went off of patent. So what is generic Copaxone is glatiramer acetate. Glatopa is another one. And again, what is that? It's just the cheaper form of Copaxone there. Now we have the interferons. Let's talk about the interferons there. No, Aubagio is the next most effective thing. So I've got to talk about Aubagio before I talk about other things. That's 31% effective. Now, that's huge. That is huge early on. It's an oral medication. And again, msfrontier.org will tell you that is. And people are posting how effective. Cynthia talks about being on Copaxone for 11 years. And now she transferred to Ocrevus. And that's a really good thing. And in fact, I'll talk about that as we progress down here. Aubagio, it's a pill, 31% effective. Now let's move into the interferons. Interferons kind of get in the way of our body attacking each other. It messes with our immune system there. Avonex, Rebif, Beta-Seron, let me see, Extevia, that those medications, they're all the interferons. They're also, they say that they're effective against this COVID thing. So they're 33% effective. I remember when beta seron was first introduced in 1993, and we could get on that there. It was such a blessing. It was such a blessing to be on something that gave us a 33% chance of not having an attack. Remember, back in '93, people were dying from MS. They know so much more there. All right, the interferons are divided into two. One is interferon beta 1A, and the other one is interferon beta 1B. All right, 1B is beta seron. That was the first line of beta feron. There. Yeah, you know I'm going to call you Calvin. But I'm sorry, somebody came online, and I've got a code name for him. It's Calvin. But yeah, he doesn't mind me calling the code name there. But anyway, so beta feron or beta seron is interferon 1B. What else is 1B there? Let me see. What else is Extevia is 1B. 1B was the very first interferon. And to me, to certain people, it was much more harsh on the body. I had terrible flu-like side effects with 1B. However, when the doctor put me on 1A, which was Avonex, there, and it was once a week, it tends to last longer. Rebif is also 1A. Avonex and Rebif are 1A. There, it you can, a lot of us can adapt to it a heck of a lot better. I did. Again, 1A is Avonex. That was a shot once a week, intramuscular. It was really dramatic, but like in all things MS, we get so used to the drama that it's not a big deal anymore. The longer you've had it, the more it's not a drama. Okay, Mazent for secondary progressive MS there is 35% effective at keeping you from having an exacerbation. Why is I'm going to continue about that, but why is it important for us not to have exacerbations, or as few as possible? Does anybody know? That's a good question there. Why is it critical that we keep from having exacerbations or attacks, MS attacks? Question: Does Avonex? Yeah, and people are chiming in. They were on Avonex, and how long? Nadine had been on Avonex for 17 years. I was on Avonex. I was in a study program. I've been in so many study programs. Avonex and Copaxone together, but the Copaxone they discovered weren't happening. Attacks can cause. All right, Gina, answer the question. Gina, I can always count on you answering the question there. Why we want to avoid having attacks is that the damage we end up having from the attacks can return in the future by having the exposed nerves, and it can come back and return in the future. So we do not want to have these attacks. The less attacks we have, the less chance of us having attacks in the disability in the future. So it is critical. We I don't know. I'm a drug person. I'm a pharmaceutical. I believe in it there, but it's critical we stay on drugs so that it just we don't. I tell you, if I wasn't on medications from 1993 until now, I'd be a vegetable there. Thank you for the time check. Karen just gave me a time check there. Okay, so we talked about Mazent. It's 35% progression. Now we go on to Pelegrity. Pelegrity is 36. It's better. Hi there, Daniel. If I didn't say hi to you, uh, please forgive me there. The Facebook feed, I didn't publish that in the face, but just know that I know who watched, who's with us there, and anyway, let me continue this. All right, so we've got Pelegrity 36%, Zimbrita. You know what? I think they pulled that. So let's not talk about that. Tectafera, and I know Tectafera. All right, we got one person on Abagio. I don't have anybody. I thought we had somebody on Tectafera, but and that's 49%. Mevenclad is 50%. Again, go to msfrontiers.org, look at the medications and click that. It'll show you the side effects. And what you want to do is write down the side effects, write down the medications you like, how good it is, and bring it to your doctor. If they decide that they want to change medications on you, be informed, and look at the medications that have the least side effects, or and again, they publish these side effects, but it doesn't mean we're going to have a problem. We're going to have the side effects. A lot of times, like you think about aspirin or some of these pharmaceutical companies talking about the side effects that we could have, and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I have it. It just, let me see. All right, let's move on from Tectafera. Mevenclad, did I mention Mevenclad there? If you look at Mevenclad there, you'll find that it works 50%, but go to msfrontiers.org and look at the side effects with Mevenclad. It is wonderful at holding you from 1 out of 2. It keeps you from progression. This is good. 50% chance, but it Susan, I have you. Oh, let's see. I don't have you down. So I need to know there. All right. Now we start getting to our most common medications that we're all on there. Gilenya. Gilenya, in fact, is a much better than we thought, and we tend to what people with the SPMS. What do? Something's working for us, and we're getting progressively worse. And what do? We tell our doctor, Jelani is not working anymore. I wanna be on Ocrevus. I want to be on what everybody else is on because it's higher effectiveness and it'll keep me from getting worse. It just so we need to. That's an emotional decision. At that point, we need to let our neurologist do an MRI and find out if, in fact, in our bodies, that is the truth. Again, Gilenya works 54%, but it has shown in secondary progressive MS to really be a good medication. Now a little backstory was on Gilenya. I didn't feel it was working. The great thing is that I've done more wrong than right, and you guys get to learn from that. What happened? I said, it's not working. I want to go off of it. So my doctor stopped it, and they weren't going to give me rituximab until my blood levels came back up. And you know what happened is that my blood levels never came back up as far as lymphopenia there, and I ended up having a catastrophic attack. catastrophic attack. I had lesions in my brain, my C spine, and my spine. Uh, it was bad. It was bad. Gee, I hope because of that, I don't get worse or need to be tied to a chair in the future. But it's real likeliness. That's why I want us all to consider that. Gilenya is 54%. Lemtrada is 55. Lemtrada, and now I know we have Tim. You're on Tim. You're on Lemtrada. And you know what's great about Lemtrada? I had done a lot of research on Lemtrada. Even though it says it's 55% effective, in that 55%, it's able to put you in remission. Navantrone was like that, would put you in remission. Not a lot of medications out there can eradicate the disease there. And Lemtrada has the ability to eradicate multiple sclerosis in people. So 55%, that's huge. So go to MS Frontiers, look at that medication. It's 55%. I'm going to move on to Navantrone, which is 66%, and it has the ability to eradicate the disease. Unfortunately, the side effects of Navantrone are such that I've been on it, and I personally care a little too much. So for you, I am not a doctor, so you've got to take everything I say with a grain of salt, and you've got to take the information on MS Frontiers that is published, and it's got really good sources that it'll have that, and take it to your doctor. Part of it is that Navantrone, you have to be careful because Navantrone gave one of us leukemia. The side effects of leukemia can compromise your heart muscle. You have to do lots of things. Now, back in 1990, in 2003, it was only Avonex, Betaseron, Rebif, and the doctor would call if you were moving into secondary progressive MS. Lemtrada was your call. That was something that they'd put you on or offer to you there. It had a 66% success rate. It kept me from getting worse. For 2 years, I was able to teach aerobics there. But again, the side effects were not pleasant. Let's see. I didn't lose my hair. I didn't. My eyes didn't turn blue because it's a blue medication. It's chemotherapy. It goes into your veins there, and it was. I didn't have any side effects of the medication, but the problem is that the medication that goes into your veins there has long-term side effects that you may not want to consider. At the time, we did it because we didn't want to die, and we had an active disease there. All right, now let's move to Tisabri. Tisabri, thank you, Karen. Tisabri is 68%. Tisabri is the only medication, disease-modifying medication, that has a percentage where people actually feel better. I was on Tisabri for such a long time. I was on the study group. Let me think. I believe 7 years. I was on Tisabri. I felt better. The side effect, they said the black box label was that you could have get PML, which is the brain bacteria that crosses the blood-brain barrier and could kill you, make you like you've had the worst MS attack ever. I will let you know that the odds of getting PML is 1 in 1,000. All right, that's the same odds of dying, not being in a house fire, but dying in a house fire. Uh, I love logic, and I'm thinking, oh, well, dying in a house fire. Well, do you smoke in bed? There's other factors there. So what about the odds of dying in a house fire if you don't smoke in bed, and you're not sleeping? You have narcolepsy. I don't know. So, but to Sabri, it wasn't that, and that wasn't a big deal for me. Cynthia mentioned they have a test. It's the JCV test. Jack, chime in there. And they can detect whether you have the virus that makes you more susceptible. I tested positive. I was on it for 7 years. They did that, found that virus in my blood. Apparently, I had it all along. That increases your odds to 3 in 1,000 there. If you've ever been on Navantrone, uh, like I have there, they won't let you uh, take Tisabri because that increases your odds, and the longer you've been on uh, uh, Tisabri, the more your odds increase there. My odds of getting PML was 3 in 100. No, you know what? Calvin, I got to look down, Mr. Ed. Calvin hasn't been with us for a while, but I'm calling you Q Black. Calvin, there, he thinks he stated that 1 in 1,000 is horrible. That is 1 in 1,000 is akin to getting attacked by a shark in your bathtub if you don't smoke in your house. So it's not a big deal. So to Sabri, I had 3% chance in 100. I went to, in fact, I started at University of Pennsylvania. No, I started in California. Then I went to University of Pennsylvania, and I was on to Sabria. Then I transferred to Johns Hopkins. While at Johns Hopkins, I said I would, I want to stay. I want to stay on to Sabri, even though it's 3 in 100% chance that I have PML, because that's 97% chance I'm not going to have PML, and I feel so damn good on Tisabri. I felt good. I felt like I could walk better. I could do squats. I liked it. And they said, no. They said, no, no, we're taking you off because we are not going to be medically responsible for being your doctor in your hospital and continuing on to Sabri. So you have to look. Go to msfrontiers.org and look at the medication. Again, 68% Tisabri holds you at bay, but a certain amount of people feel better. I think it was as high as 20%. 20% of people who were on Tisabri could feel. I could feel after 3 weeks. I could feel that I needed it again. It was like having a cup of coffee. It's like I needed more Tisabri. I called up and I scheduled it every 3.5 weeks instead of it once a month. So anyway, that leads us to the monoclonal antibodies. And monoclonal antibodies, remember, cell. You've got a cell and you've got cell clusters around. Now, the cell clusters around the cell tell that cell what it's allowed to do or what it should be doing. Well, CD19 and 20 are two cell clusters that tell our cells, thank you, Karen, that tell our cells that the rubber or the myelin is a foreign antibody. What these monoclonal antibodies, and we like to use the word chemo, but it's not chemo. It's a chemical that is not radical chemical chemotherapy. It goes in and it specifically kills the CD19 and 20, the cell clusters that tell this white blood cells that pass our blood brain barrier that we have to myelin is bad, so it shuts it down. What are the monoclonal antibody agents? They're rituximab, Ocrevus, and the new one is Zeposia there, and that is uh, another medication. Now, remember, rituximab is a monoclonal antibody that was developed off of uh, with mice in mind. So it was given to mice, and it worked with their MS like symptoms. The rituximab also has a history. It's a 16-year history of people with different leukemias, chronic leukemia, and arthritis. It's given to people with that arthritis, and it has a safety. People aren't getting other cancers. It doesn't wear people down for the most part. The worst side effect is that it the worst side effect is that it has infusion. So if you're getting the infusion, they may have to slow it down. They give you Benadryl. It's that kind of difficulty there. Ocrevus. Now, Ocrevus was made directly for humans. It was based off of the human cell antibodies. So they changed it a little bit because rituximab, the patent went off of rituximab. So the makers of rituximab didn't want to put all their money into. I'm going to get in trouble if I continue, but they don't want to put all their money into getting it approved for MS if there's going to be a generic formula that comes out, and rituximab could. Now, Ocrevus, that's why they put all the money into the research for Ocrevus with MS there, and that's why it's approved for health insurance for MS. 70%. All of these monoclonal antibodies are 70% effective. And how do you know it's time? There is the protocol, which is you get it every 6 months, but there's also a blood test that you can go and ask your doctor. It's a blood test to detect CD19 and 20. Again, I'm not a doctor, but with my experience going to a hematologist and detecting that between Gilenia and Rituxan, they wanted those levels to come back. So this is a very real test, and it'll tell you. Typically, the CD19 and 20 levels, they want to see them below 1%. If like me, every 6 months they're still at 1%. It seems to be now with me, it's every year and a half. There, it's now it goes up to 7%. So that is. Yeah, that is Yogi Berra. Please put the where you live, the type of MS you have, how old you are, and what medication. Yogi Berra, you're talking, I end up putting this down. And Dennis is with us. Hi, Dennis. Yeah, all right. Give my juice. All right. And everybody on Facebook is talking, not Facebook, everybody on YouTube is talking about the juice. Now, the juice tends to be steroids. That's the ice job. But when you talk about juice, are you referring to Ocrevus? Because most of you are on Ocrevus there. Uh, uh, yeah, most everybody's on Ocrevus with the exception of Tisabri. Let's see, Suzanne is on Tisabri. Lemtrada and rituximab. There's only two of us on rituximab there. Jimmy's on rituximab. And Abagio. Becky's on Abagio. There is a number. No, you know what? And Q Black, Galvin, you're on Abagio, but there's a number of you are anti-medication, and I get that, but please go to MS Frontiers and look at the medications and consider it. And the reason why you want to consider is you want to keep your body, the white blood cells, from attacking the myelin and creating damage that could come back to haunt you in the future. There, yeah, juice. Okay. All right, the new word for juice, Dennis just let me know, is Ocrevus. They're calling that the juice. It's funny. It's no longer steroids. Or yeah, no longer steroid. Juice is not steroids. Juice is Ocrevus. There. Um, uh, so anyway, I would definitely want to talk to you about medications, about MS Frontiers. Um, just about dealing with this. I also, I didn't bring it out here. There, Isidin. Remember, I talked on Tuesday about the best kind of, especially if you're on Jelenia, which nobody is, best kind of sunscreen, and it's called Isidin, ISDIN, and it's SPF 100. You put it on, it has a chemical reaction with the sun where it resurfaces it keeps you from it strips away a couple layers. It may destroy precancerous stuff. So ice it in. Take that to your dermatologist. Take that. Research that online. They're Isidin, ISDIN. That is outstanding stuff. In fact, yesterday I went to the pool. I put it on my face, and I was doing laps there, and I had a sun shirt on, but I got hot. I took it off. They're doing my laps there. I got it sunburned all over my body. When I took off I washed my face. It was white. I mean, it was like your butt white. It was so white that so it's really good stuff there. So maybe this year I won't add to looking like a Sharpay. Karen, what time is it there? I know, definitely sick initially. Yeah. Oh, Karen, let me get this straight. Were you on rituximab for 5 years? Uh, and you know what? I have heard one other person who was on rituximab. She's got primary progressive MS, and she did not tolerate rituximab very much. But anyway, yeah, Tecfidera. If you go to msfrontiers.org and you look at the side effects, Tecfidera doesn't have very nice side effects. The ones with the greatest side effects, Copaxone has good side effects. You might have a little bit of flushing, but the major side effect with that is injection site. It hurts sometimes, the medication going in. It burns there. What Jelenia, that doesn't have side effects. Well, the side effects are systemic. They say you can end up getting a skin cancer. Tisabri, the side effects are more systemic there, but taking it doesn't really cause that much of a problem. and Jelenia, I think I said that, rituximab, ocrevus. Anyway, we are done. Karen, I love you. I love you. All right. Dennis, if you could email me how I can do a split screen, teach me how to do a split screen so that I can have people like all of you guys, everybody with MS there who wants to be a guest. I'm just the host, and every single one. Hi, Abby. Every single one of you deserves to have a split screen. So you guys are experts too. If you've had MS, you have a real experience that can help other people. I've had a lot because I've had it so long there, but by all means, I'm not an authority there. I know enough to make my neurologist mad. Anyway, God bless you. Please subscribe. I pray for all of you. Abby, if you're new here, put down your the type of MS you have, where you live, the type of medication you're on, and how old you are. I will add you to my prayer list, and I've got that, and we'll know you a little more, so that when you chime in, I can add a little bit and say, oh yeah, there's Karen. Karen is on. She lives in Pennsylvania, and she's on Ocrevus there. So it's and she's got primary progressive. I know all about you, Karen, and it helps. It helps that I can jump in and tell each of you about each other. Anyway, I love you, Tim. I love you, Karen. Let me see. I definitely wanted to mention Gina and all of you. God bless you. Please subscribe and keep coming back again on Tuesday. We'll do another hour. Anyway, I love you. Have a